How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the Positive Mindset Podcast, where we come together to raise our vibration, lift our perspective, and build that positive mindset. My name is Henry, and I'm so thankful to have each and every one of you here today because in this episode, we're going to make the biggest mental shift you could ever make. If you want to go to the most positive state, the most freeing state you could possibly be, this is going to be the episode for you. But before we get started, we're going to take a few moments to slow down, zero in. We're going to take some deep, healing meditative breaths to help us align on the frequency that we want in our lives. So you'll pick a word. It could be love, joy, happiness, abundance, whatever frequency you want. And we're going to take a deep breath in. And as you're breathing in, you're going to say this word over and over and over again. Really charge yourself up with that energy. And then as you're holding your breath, visualize yourself doing something in that frequency. And once you exhale, anything that no longer resonates with you will leave you and you'll be in a more positive state. So let's go ahead and take a deep breath in. And out. We're going to take another deep breath. This one's about alignment, about getting ourselves in receiving mode so that we can receive the message that you need to hear to get you in that positive perspective. So just imagine that you are surrounded by the most healing, uplifting energy that's meant specifically for you. It could have a certain color, a certain taste, a certain smell, however you imagine it. And when you breathe it in, it's going to charge you up. It's going to break down the negativity, the blocks, the weight, everything that's just been holding you back. And once you exhale, anything that no longer resonates with you will leave you and you'll be in a more positive state. So let's go ahead and take another deep breath in. And out. Well, before we get started, if there's something that you take away or something that you enjoy from this episode, if you're on YouTube or Spotify, you can actually leave a comment below. Not only does that help me know what resonated with you, but somebody else might read your comment and might inspire them to give this episode a try. I want to make this the #1 mindset podcast in the world, and the best way to do that is together. So whether you leave a positive comment or you share this with somebody, it means the absolute world to me, and I could never thank you enough. But let's dive into today's episode. So this perspective, I've been charging myself up with it before this podcast, before I went live here, before I recorded it, and I'm feeling good. So I hope this resonates with you, okay? And I'm just going to say it as it is. You are not you. This body, and I'll refer to myself, Henry, is not who I am. Henry is the experience that I'm having at this moment. You, whatever your name is, whatever your body is, whatever your life is, that's the experience that you're having. You are more than that. You are a spirit, you're a soul, you're energy, you're abundant, you're infinite. You have no beginning, you have no end. You were here before, you'll be here again, and I mean existence. When you take that perspective, you realize that absolutely nothing on this earth, in this life, is happening to you. It can't. It's happening to your body. It's happening to the experience that you're having, but you are observing the experience. When you can separate yourself from that, you realize that you can do anything. You see, when you're charging yourself up, when you're manifesting, when you're saying, I want to be abundant, I'm going to step into that love energy, I'm going to step into that abundant energy, I'm going to attract wealth, I'm going to attract powerful people, I'm going to attract powerful situations, I want to be in whatever it is that you desire. When you start doing that, people start thinking what could go wrong. Right? This is the naysayers. This might even be yourself. This is the negative energy trying to stop you. Well, what happens if you get in a car accident and you die? What happens if this? What happens if a war? What happens in this? Like, we have all these things that start running through our mind to think that make us think that this body, this life is the end all be all, but it's not. It's just an experience amongst your infinite experience. So if something happens to me, to my body, and it's destroyed and I die, my energy does not. So it didn't affect anything. My energy is observing this experience and I'm trying to raise it. By reaching new levels, it's not about the material thing. Those material things are just how we identify it in this experience. It's about the state of being that I am. If you haven't met people that are high level, And I don't mean just financially, but people that have long vision, that see things beyond what they are, that are creating things, that are building skyscrapers, that are, expanding into new territories, just doing the most amazing things. If you haven't been around them, then your opinion of them or your view of them is based upon self. You don't know what their energy truly is like. So until you can be around the energy, you won't realize that there's something more than just the person. There's something more to you than just the person. Separate yourself from that. It makes you infinite. Play the infinite game. Stop playing the game of this life has a beginning and an end and it's maybe 80 years. Stop playing that game. And that if something happens to your body, something happens to your persona, your personality, whatever, that actually affects your energy, that is a limiting belief. That is a small belief. That is shrinking yourself to being no bigger than the tree, no bigger than the earth. All this stuff is created by our energy. We are the observers of it. We are the creators of it, but we are not it. This body came from the earth and will go back. This energy, the spirit, the soul is just experiencing this for this short period of time, and then it will go on, just as it existed before. So when you start playing the infinite game, you become infinitely more powerful. Nothing can stop you. Nothing can prevent you from rising up. Nothing can prevent you from the biggest visions. You see, if you want to create a company, maybe that's your vision. You want to create this amazing company. It's not about the company. It's about the frequency. It's about the energy. It's about the lives that are changed when you have a true passion, a true calling for something. If you're just chasing the money, if you just want to be rich, if you just want to be wealthy, that's a material desire and that will never fulfill you. But if you want to change people's lives, if you want people to see things from a different angle, if you want them to have a different experience, if you want to uplift people out of poverty, or you want to help people, eat a certain way so that they can eat and feel good, whatever it is, when your desire comes from the heart to heal people, and it's a big one, it is not limited by your life, this physical life. So erase that. The most powerful state of being is one that doesn't need anything and just bees. Whether there's a war going on, whether it's a depression, whether, the news is saying this, the people are saying this, the world is like this, the temperatures, the climate change, all of those things, those only affect the body, and you are not the body. Separate yourself. If you want that positive mindset is separate of self. The ego, the lower vision, thinks about yourself, everything about me. You see the climate's changing, that affects me. You see the economy's bad, that affects me. People are mean, that affects me. There's wars, that affects me. That is the selfish ego bringing you down. You have a vision inside of you. And that doesn't have to be to create these huge things. It could just be a loving being. And maybe you just live in a small community and you're just that loving being and everyone that you interact with is healed and loved because of you. Maybe that's your experience for the short period of time, and that's a beautiful one. Maybe it's something bigger. Maybe you want to create companies. Maybe you want to be a politician. You want to be president of the world. Whatever it is, as long as you're leading with love, it's your internal calling. It doesn't matter what happens to your body. Perspective is everything. It is not the experience. It's your perception of the experience. That's when you get into the energy. You see, when you can see the good in anything, you receive the good from anything. That's beyond self. When you can see the pain in anything, then you receive the pain in anything. Stand around somebody that's extremely negative, that always tells you how it can go wrong, that always tells you how they've been wronged, that always tells you how everything happens in a bad way. No matter what you do, they will see the bad. How do you think their experience is? How do you think their joy is? What do you think this life is to them? They're so powerful, just in the wrong way. And then here you are neutral. You see that, so you try to stay away from that. But then you don't give yourself the ability to be the opposite of that. You are the healing energy. You are the rising tide. You are here with purpose. God, universe, the soul, the energy, it's all connected. My path is your path. My experience is your experience. We are one. But we're on a different journey. We're on a different path. We're on a different timeline. And everything you're doing is unique to you, and it's meant to be that way. It's infinite. If we all did the same things, we wouldn't be expanding anything. We'd just be reinforcing what already is. I go my path. I go into some darkness. I go into some light. In the darkness, I try to bring the light. In the light, I try to observe and learn. The same is for you. You have your own darkness that you need to go through, and you expand the light there. You have your own light that you need to go through so that you can learn and understand there. Your journey is yours. My journey is mine. It's all connected because it's expanding the energy. It's expanding beyond what this earthly experience is. Stop limiting yourself to self. Self is limiting. Your life is a limiting perspective. If you start acting beyond that, if you start making moves beyond your experience, that it takes 20, 30, 40 years, when you become the person that plants trees which shade you'll never sit under, you are a very impactful person. And that's what this world's missing. Everyone's trying to get the shade and no one's trying to plant the seed to give the shade for the future. The future is you. The future is me. Our energy is going to do this again and again and again. So we need to do things for the greater good, because the greater good is us. Plant some seeds. Separate yourself from self. It's not serving you. You, your ego, Henry, the person, does not serve the higher power. The energy within does. So stop worrying about what happens to the body, what happens to the persona, this personality, this thing that you've created, and think about your energy and soul and let that be the main focus, because that is infinite. It doesn't matter what happens. Your pursuit is infinite. You're pursuing it in this experience, and then you'll pursue it beyond this experience. It never stops. If you just need to heal and find inner peace within you, that's your journey. And if it takes you this whole life and another one, that's okay. It's your journey and you're infinite. So the time that it takes doesn't matter. If you're 50 years old and listening to this podcast right now and you're just now getting the shift to heal within and become different, it's okay. Time doesn't matter. There's only now. I'm operating in now. You're operating in now. And you can tell that I'm pumped up about this because this is groundbreaking for me. This is powerful for me because as I step into this energy beyond self, everything is possible because none of this matters. All that matters is how my internal state is, and all that matters is how your internal state is. So I hope you're feeling this shift because you have a purpose, and it's a powerful one. You know what I'm going to say because we're entering the end of this podcast. You know it's coming. You've been working towards this. I've been working to this. So let's grow and become the rising tide that lifts all ships. Well, thank you so much for listening. I hope I didn't get too expansive or too excited or too fast in that message, but sometimes when you're tapped in, it just flows. It just flows within you, and I can't control the words. It's the best I can do to just pronounce them correctly when they're coming in, when that energy, that message is coming in that strong, but I hope it resonated. If you want to make sure you don't miss a single episode, make sure you subscribe to my email list. There's a link down below. It will keep you up to date with every single episode, and if you want to follow me on social media, there's my Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook group all down below, so I appreciate all the follows there. And I'm really loving connecting with you. If you want more information, if you just want to chat, if you want to share something, please reach out on Instagram. I love the communication, love talking to you. It's been such a great journey, and the best is yet to come. The future of what's about to happen is expansive. I've been working really, really hard. I know you've been working really, really hard, and I'd love to take this next chapter together. I would love to expand together. I would love to go to this new level and see you there. So let's stay connected and do it together. In a group, we can all win. So thank you so much for listening. Have a great day, and I can't wait to talk to you next time.